Hello, YouTube. Well, today is a rainy Sunday. It's the end of September, starting to become fall. Everything else, it's cold outside. I mean, I want to say it's a good, like maybe 5 Celsius, about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So, we're rainy. It's nasty. All gross. Nobody likes the rain. Nobody likes the cold. So, on a Sunday, what do we do when it's raining and cold? Some people say it's nice to cuddle, but you know, you can only cuddle so much, especially when you're a guy. We don't always like that sometimes. So, sometimes you just need to put on your drinking hat and have a drink. So, got mine ready. Here we go. So, let's go have a bourbon. Now, bourbon is a little bit different. Y'all like to call it whiskey. But bourbon and whiskey is the same. So let me give you a little lesson. All bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. So here's the difference. Bourbon is made with the corn mash. And whiskey is just made with any old thing. So if you're in the Philippines, you can find bourbon, and it's your Jim Beam. Now your Johnny Walker, your Jack Daniels, that's just whiskey. It ain't no bourbon. But today we have some bourbon, and it's my personal favorite. It's a little bit cheaper, but, you know, it's nice. And it's Jesse James bourbon. And I like Jesse James for one reason. My great-grandmother, her aunt, used to hide out Jesse James in Kansas City and used to have take their mama there and help them in the hotel so that way the boys could help their mama. They were a nice, famous outlaw here in the States back after the Civil War. And they were kind of regulators, helped people in the South. And, you know, like I said, my great-grandmother and her great-aunt, you know, at the time, they would help the boys, you know, meet up with their mom. And that was something pretty special. So I like Jesse James bourbon. And as you can see, it is bourbon. Now, this is only 40% alcohol. You can drink it with anything you really want. A lot of people put it just a splash of Coke, just like Jack Daniels, because, again, all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. So, what we do here is, I like to, you know, we're going to get up here and just get a little bourbon glass. Now, we have several different glasses to choose from. We have our mason jar with a handle, but we don't need that. That's more for your sipping. Now, that's going to be if you have a nice long mixed drink or something else. Now, we have our wine glasses up top here, but we ain't drinking wine today. No siree. We have our nice little water glasses or mixed drink glasses. Up there we have our tea glasses or our Long Island iced teas. We have our dessert cups or our shooters here. And we also have our mixed drink or maybe your margarita glasses. But we don't want those today. Today we want a straight, just simple bourbon glass. Why? Because that's all we really need is just a simple bourbon glass. Now, another little lesson here. We're going to get some ice. Now we have the one that just comes out of the fridge. So that makes it a little easier for us. Now, we put in the ice first. And then you hear people say that I want a 3-finger glass. Now, yeah, you could say I want a double and then you're going to pour it with a shot. But when you're out in the sticks, I say I want a 3-finger or 4-finger glass. Well, I'm going to put it on the rocks. And I'm going to put it in the glass. And I usually say I want a 3-finger. So if you look, folks, there's my 3 fingers. And that's the line just back about behind. I'm on the counter. I got 3 fingers in there with some ice in it. And just like that. Now, there's several ways that we can drink our bourbon. We can sip it like this, nice and slow. And a lot of people do that. It's a nice Southern tradition. People like to sip on bourbon. And it smells nice. It's got a sweet aroma. Now, maybe you don't like that taste. You know, a lot of people don't like that taste. Most people don't like whiskey straight out. They want to mix something with it. Some old countrymen just like it like this. Or they might take something and we used to call it small doses a sip at a time. If you're really poor and you don't have anything to mix with it, you just put a little bit of water in it. Kind of, you know, wet it down. You ever do that with Imperator? That stuff tastes gross, yeah? Nobody really likes the taste of Imperator. They want to mix it with something. Well, sometimes they just take a drink of water with it, or they mix it with a little bit of water, tastes a little better. Or weakens it down a little bit, makes it enough, because it gives you a rotten gut. Well, bourbon's kind of like that. Some people like the taste, or it's an acquired taste. Or, you got to mix it with something. So small doses at a time, you want to mix it with a little bit of water. Or, you can mix it with your favorite soft drink. Now, we recommend just regular Coke. Because it's not meant to be fruity. Not meant to put it in a fruity drink. It's not really good like that. Because again, this is a corn mash that it's made out of. Now, a lot of your coconut whiskey and some of your rice whiskey that you have, that stuff is made to mix with like fruit drinks. So like when you have a rum, you want to mix that with fruit. If you have, you know, maybe a rum whiskey or a rice whiskey, sometimes that's good with like a lemon or a lime. But with good old corn mash whiskey, you really just want a hard soft drink. Now, when we talk about Coke, Coke is a hard soft drink. It will take rust off a battery. And it really does. You get your clothes really dirty, pour a can of Coke in. It really will clean grease, rust, dirt, highly soiled clothes. So think about that, and you're putting it in your body along with the bourbon. Yum. Now, again, we had a 3-finger Coke, or a 3-finger bourbon. So we're just going to add it almost all the way to the top with the Coke. And we have our ice in there. We want to leave just a little bit at the top. And there we have it. Now, because it's a nice chilly day, we just kind of sit outside. And I have my nice little seat here that I have on the back porch. And we just kind of watch the birds and everything else. And it's just nice to hang out as we talk to our friends here on YouTube. And that is a good drink. Now, if you don't like alcohol, you might just want to say 1 shot. Or put in your 2 fingers, a little less alcohol. But do remember, if you are one of our Filipino friends and you are drinking the Jim Beam, it is a little strong. Go easy and make sure you don't drink and drive. And, you know, don't drink and go with somebody that you don't like. But this will catch up with you in the evening. It is meant for sipping. Don't just throw it down. It's not a shot. It's good to last, you know, and have a nice drink in your hand. It will last. Even if it's not extremely cold, you'll still have a nice sweet taste, you know, with the Coke and the bourbon mixed. So you'll have a nice sweet taste throughout the, you know, you can have this drink in your hand for over an hour and still just kind of sip on it. It's something nice to have as you're walking around and you're talking with somebody at a party, or if you're out at the disco or something else. So it's a good drink to have just to kind of sip on. It looks decent with a small bourbon glass in your hand. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty for a lot of men like this, because it's kind of like a rum and Coke, but it tastes a little different, and it just has a little more style to it than a rum and Coke, and it's a little more sophisticated when you're ordering it at the bar than just I want a rum and Coke, because you really don't know. You might get a rum and Coke, and it just might not be good. So if you like bourbon, or if you want to try it, give it a shot. So, and yes, it will get you drunk. Any alcohol will get you drunk. But it's what you want with taste. It's not a beer. You know, you drink a lot of beer, you got to go to the restroom all night long. You're in the CR. You miss a lot of fun. So, if you're having a Sunday, it's raining and it's cold, warm yourself up with a nice bourbon. And until next time, YouTube, keep watching. And if you like our videos, click and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll see more of us. Setting sun approaches for